why don't we start at the beginning, which is really, where did this idea come from, and how did you start it?
So good morning, guys. Happy to be here. My background is I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, went to Harvard undergrad, and as a senior, I had went to go work at Morgan Stanley as a trader and had gotten into business school, and I remember thinking to myself, okay, I'm smart, I'm not intimidated often, I can put a lot of information together. And I started thinking about the fact that I didn't know how many credit cards I should have. I actually asked my mom, and she was like, you should apply for an American Express Platinum card. And I was like, yeah, I don't have a job. And I remember being like, all right, how am I supposed to think about this? And what I quickly started realizing was I didn't know how many credit cards to have. I didn't know what I could afford in terms of my rent. I remember making the dumbest mistake, which is when I was working at Morgan Stanley, I didn't get dental insurance. It was $6 a month, mind you, but I'd never had a cavity. And I was like, I don't know, I'll save $6 a month. I don't have cavities, I'll be fine. And I did the math. I was like, it'll be a great decision. Of course, I get a cavity, it's $1,000. And so I just remember being like, why don't I know exactly what to do? And here I am, I can be a trader, I understand the markets, but I didn't know the difference between a 401k and an IRA. And so the journey really started with me thinking about, this is a topic of my life that I want to thrive in. I don't care about having loads of money. I just don't want to worry about money, which, like, let's all raise our hand. None of us want to worry about money. And so it really started directly from there, from a personal problem. And I know they always say sort of necessity is the mother of invention, but I was client number one. And I started scouring the internet, and I would find articles that would then directly contradict other articles. And I was like, how on earth am I supposed to make sense of this? Am I supposed to, like, dig through the bins of the internet to find what's accurate? So over a few years, I went back to, actually worked at a startup for a few months that ultimately got sold to Facebook. I went back to HBS, and it was literally the heart of the worst recession in 81 years. And I ended up like having a business plan, which don't ever write a business plan, no one reads it, but I wrote one for my own sake. And I ended up just thinking, if I'm ever gonna start a company that's gonna help empower people financially, it has to be right now. So I finished my first semester, walked into the admissions office and was like, I'm gonna drop out. And they were like, excuse me? And I remember like being like, if I don't do it today, I'm never gonna do it. And I just did it. And I called my mom, and my mom was like, you always keep me on your toes. Like, my mom was like, my whole life, like, there's always a surprise. And so that was that. I moved to New York, and it was just me, and I didn't have any funding committed, and I was like, it's go time.